So let's get into the latest R. Kelly drama. Child, R. Kelly been trending for 3 years straight. According to his lawyer, we just learned of the charging of several so-called associates of R. Kelly. Without question, Robert Kelly had nothing to do with any of these alleged acts by those charged. He hasn't attempted to intimidate anyone or encourage anyone else to do so. No involvement whatsoever. Child. Arline Jr. complaint states, as alleged, between January the 9th, 2020 and June 20th, Arline Jr., a self-proclaimed long-term friend of Kelly, attempted to illegally influence the cooperation and testimony of an alleged victim in the Kelly case. I'm going to give y'all my thoughts and opinions as we go. After learning of Arline Jr.'s plan, the victim contacted law enforcement and under the supervision of law enforcement authorities continued to communicate with him. During a series of consensually recorded telephone calls, right there is where it doesn't make sense. Consensually recorded telephone calls, so he consented to recording him to set up illegal acts, is what they're saying. Somebody please make that make sense for me, because I don't get it. Why would a criminal do that? As well as in calls, in texts, captured pursuant to a judicially authorized wiretap. Y'all see what I'm saying? This doesn't make sense. Normally, wiretaps are wired to someone that's willing to catch the other person or persons in an illegal act. The person who's committing illegal activities doesn't consent to it. Arline Jr. discussed a scheme in which the victim would receive compensation, including a proposed payment of $500,000 to keep her from cooperating with the government. During one of the recorded telephone calls, Arline Jr. claimed that he had communicated with R. Kelly while Kelly was incarcerated via three-way with another individual. That doesn't make sense either, because if that were true, they would have included that in their complaint totally different. They would have told us that they got R. Kelly on tape conspiring with him in this illegal act. The intercepted communications also include Arline Jr. discussing plans to pay the victim to be quiet, explaining that if I had a way to talk to Rob Kelly, being next to him and telling him what's going on without nobody listening to, no feds, nobody, he gonna pay her off to be quiet because he got too much. She got too much. Got too much of what? This next complaint is concerning Don Russell. As alleged between November 2018 and February 2020, Russell, a self-described manager, advisor, and friend of Kelly, used the mail, telephones, and the internet to harass and intimidate Jane Doe, an alleged victim in the Kelly case, and her mother after Jane Doe filed a civil suit against R. Kelly. This would be Faith Rogers. Specifically, Russell threatened to reveal sexually explicit photographs of Jane Doe and to publicly reveal her sexual history if she did not withdraw her lawsuit against Kelly and cease her participation and association with the organizers of a negative campaign against Kelly. In November 2018, Russell caused a letter with attachments purportedly written by Kelly to be mailed to Jane Doe's Brooklyn-based lawyer at the time. The attachments included cropped nude photographs of Jane Doe with the following text. The next two pictures have been cropped for the sake of not exposing her extremities to the world yet. Lord have mercy. In December 2018, Russell, using his alias Colin Dunn, sent a series of text messages to Jane Doe and her mother, which contained the same photographs of Jane Doe and stating, just a sample, "We will seek criminal charges. You've been warned," as well as publishing soon, and this is Colin. It goes on to say, on January 3rd, 2019, Russell allegedly sent additional text messages to Jane Doe and her mother stating, "Pull the plug or you will be exposed." On January 6th, 2019, Russell, using the Colin Dunn alias again, created a Facebook page named Surviving Lies. I never got a chance to see that. A play on the title of Lifetime's Surviving R. Kelly documentary, and posted screenshots of text messages between Kelly and Jane Doe, which contained the same sexually explicit photographs of Jane Doe. In late January 2020, Russell appeared on 2 live interviews with vloggers discussing Kelly's legal troubles, which were streamed live on the internet via YouTube. I remember that. Russell again displayed the same sexually explicit photographs of Jane Doe and broadcast them publicly over the internet. Child. This one is about Williams. As alleged, on or about June 11, 2020, Williams, a relative of an individual who once served as a publicist for R. Kelly, set fire to an SUV parked outside of a residence in Florida, where an alleged victim in the Kelly case and others were staying. This would be Azriel Clary. My thing with this is, Azriel Clary stated on Instagram that it was her house and her car. She stated that someone burned her car and attempted to burn her home down. This states outside a residence in Florida where an alleged victim in the Kelly case and others were staying. She told us one thing on Instagram and seems like told the detectives something else. Staying somewhere and living somewhere is two different things. The vehicle leased by the victim's father. You see what I mean? She said that it was her car. She didn't say it was leased. She didn't say a car that my dad leased for me. That would be Angelo Clary. She stated someone burned my car and attempted to burn my home. Her words, not mine. And this is why I say none of this stuff makes sense, because they be giving their audience or onlookers on the internet one story, and they're telling the police, detectives, FBI, whoever, something totally different. The vehicle leased by the victim's father was heavily damaged. Fire investigators also detected an accelerant along the outside perimeter of the residence. That's the gas line that she was talking about. She stated, someone burned my car and attempted to burn my home by running a gas line around my home. That's what she said. And this brings me back to the video that she posted of the vehicle in flames. It looks like that was a suburban area. So my guess is the car was leased and the house was an Airbnb. And do y'all also recall her stating in another essay on Instagram how people come down to social media and put on this persona, pretending that they live in this fabulous life? This is what these complaints is giving me. Her specifically, because the area where the house was being burned, like I said, it looks like that was a suburban area. And as we know now, the car didn't belong to them, her or her dad. The car was leased. So if that's the case, when she does her videos, the house that they actually live in is totally different from where this incident happened. Because think about it. When she does her videos, the one where she's sitting in the room, where she cut the coat up and all that, check out that door behind her. That door, those walls are filthy. So my guess is all this stuff took place in a suburban area, in an Airbnb, and the car was leased. So she's pretending online too. It seems like she got with R. Kelly and had gotten so comfortable and accustomed to the good life Once she got home, her parents tried to make her as comfortable as possible and keep that going. But they can't. Because unlike R. Kelly, their lifestyle is totally different. Literally, R. Kelly is a millionaire. They're basic. These are people, according to Angelo, in multiple videos, he get up and go to work every day. And so does his wife. So I don't understand how she thought that that was going to be possible. Cell site records, surveillance footage, toll records, and photographs in Williams' internet searches for the victim's address revealed that William had driven from Georgia to Florida. And this, people, is what we call a digital footprint. Cell phones, computers, iPads, all those devices are digital footprints. Why do y'all think they call them smartphones and stuff like that? Because they're being tracked through an IP address. Whatever you do on your cell phone, iPad, or computer, it can be traced. And these have to be some of the dumbest criminals in America, and or they wanted to be caught, because we all know of a criminal, or we know a criminal. And the only criminals that I know that would do something like this, they don't care about being caught. They want to be caught. So that leads me to believe that these people are not smart, for one, and two, these people are not for R. Kelly, and three, I don't think that R. Kelly is this stupid. He's in a federal jail. They're saying that he encouraged them to do this or instigated it via three-way calls. It makes no sense when jail calls, prison calls are all traced. It just doesn't make sense. Williams also performed internet inquiries about the detonation properties of fertilizer and diesel fuel witness intimidation and witness tampering in the countries that do not have extradition with the United States. So basically what they were saying was, this young man looked for her address, went to her address, committed a crime, but before doing so, he also looked up where he can get gas and looked up the consequences and or the definition of witness tampering, witness intimidation, in countries to escape the United States. after committing a crime? Good God Almighty. The charges in the complaints are allegations, and the defendants are presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty. They didn't say or. They said the charges in the complaints are allegations, and the defendants are presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty. The government's case is being handled by the office's Civil Rights Section. Assistant United States Attorneys Elizabeth Geddes, Nadia Shahada, and Marie Melendez are in charge of the prosecution. The charges in the complaints are allegations, and the defendants are presumed innocent unless and until guilty. Unless what? Don't it supposed to say the defendants are presumed innocent until proven guilty?